Well, good morning everybody, this is Dear Mama Sal on a chilly Tuesday morning. It's 1 degree here in southern British Columbia, which would make it 33 in American. Pretty. The clouds are beginning to come back in again, which is great. I never thought I'd say this, but it means that the weather's going to warm up and probably we'll get rain. And I know it sounds strange, but there's something warming about rain. It has to be at a certain temperature for it to rain, and I like that. I prefer that temperature to what we've had recently. Alright, so the word today is control. I definitely feel that I got some control back last night. I got home and I literally started the video moving from the camera to the computer, and then immediately got up and said, okay, fine, other than the video, I don't get to sit down again now until I've done stuff. And I managed to get my wash done. I got some stuff done in the kitchen. I tidied up, in the kitchen I tidied up, and then generally got a bit done everywhere. And managed to get clear, and I paid some bills. So I did all of that up until 9 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock I said, okay, fine, 9 o'clock is enough. And then I went to go and catch up on what I wanted to catch up on. Started the final parts of the edit for the vlog, and was asleep before midnight, which is really important. I'm trying to do that because I've been going to bed too late, I think, for me. So that's, unfortunately, the processing the videos does take time, as you all know, those of you who've tried it, and there's no shortcut to it. You can't shorten the time it takes as long as it takes. And so, it's a very difficult balancing act. And but anyway, the good news was I felt I had some control. And then I sat and watched a movie and did my blankie for a couple of hours, which was also very productive, and I really enjoyed that. And by the end of that, I literally went, that's enough of that, put it aside, turned over, and went fast asleep. So my goal at the moment is to get more control over my housework and getting more sleep. So I wonder if anybody else is finding that they're running themselves a little ragged at both ends. And if you are, let us know, so that I know I'm not the only one that fell into this trap. I know not everybody needs 8 hours sleep a night. I understand that. But I was really, I don't think, getting enough. And so I'm trying to find this balance between the two. Now, if anybody else is trying to find the balance between the two, that would be great. And I know that any minute now, the weather is going to be really quite nasty. And I probably won't be able to enjoy going outside. I keep thinking of Charlotte every time I say that to myself, because Charlotte seems to exercise through the most terrible winter in New Brunswick, and I don't know how she does it. Charlotte, if you're watching this, tell me, what shoes do you wear? Because I can't believe you wear runners, because they would slip and slide everywhere. So let me know what shoes you wear to do your exercise, because I know that you're out in all weathers at all times of the year. So let me know what you use. And anybody else who exercises in very cold weather, let me know how you do that. So the control, though, that I'm trying to get is around my day-to-day routine, because that's fallen apart. And that's, you remember what I said to you, I can tell how stressed I am by the state of my house. I can also tell that I have taken back control of my life when I start doing something about it. And so here's the interesting thing. I can just go, oh, well, I am too tired to do any of this, and not do it. And then, funny enough, I will get more and more sick. I will get more and more depressed. Why? Because I keep looking at what I haven't done. As opposed to giving myself a lot of good vibes last night, because I got my... Oh, you're a bit close to me, buddy. Because I got the bills that I wanted to pay paid, and I did other things that I knew I wanted to do. And I also got my clothes ready for this morning, so I wasn't held up this morning in case it was going to be icy, which luckily it wasn't. So for those of you who are there, out there, and also feeling a little out of control, why don't you join me in just getting some control back in the next couple of days? Because you definitely will feel better, there's no doubt about that. I can guarantee that for you. Now, I will know I've got total control back when I'm outside and doing my 10 minutes again. Now, that's going to be difficult in the next couple of days, because I know today I've got to go shopping at Walmart. And I will spend more than 10 minutes walking around Walmart, that's for sure. By the way, I wanted to talk about that, the way that I do that. I find in those sort of stores that are very, very busy, excuse me, those stores that are very, very busy, things like Walmart and so forth, I don't take my cart down the aisles, because, that's insanity as far as I'm concerned. So what I do is I park my cart down the top end of one aisle, walk down that aisle, collect what I need, come back from the next aisle, collecting what I need, and then put it in the cart. And I found it's a much, much quicker way of shopping, because you're not constantly getting frustrated with people in their carts because you can't get by them, because you can just squeeze by. And you get a lot more exercise, and you visit every aisle, but you're not too keen to pick up too much because you're carrying it. So it's a multifunctional trick of mine, if you like. And I wonder if anybody else has got any hints like that when they go shopping. If anybody has, pass them on. We've got a lot of very interested people that I'm certain would be delighted in any hints anybody has about how to shop more efficiently. I have now said to myself I may only go to Walmart sort of once a month, unless there's an emergency for some reason. So I may only go once a month to get what I call the bulk stuff. The toilet paper, paper towels, that sort of stuff. And I pick up whatever I need for that week as well, obviously. But basically it's what I call my once a month big shop. I know there are an awful lot of smart people who are viewing that have their own little way of doing it, and I certainly would be delighted to hear I think a lot of people today are struggling to keep within their budget and struggling to make ends meet in a meaningful way. And so anybody who's got any good hints on this would be really good. You will remember that I'm trying not to load up my freezer all the time, which I have been doing for many years. I found the bigger the freezer, the more I store. And what I'm trying to do, gosh, it's difficult, is every week throw away something from my freezer. And if I put something in, I need to throw something out. Now that's a very difficult thing. I actually should be throwing 2 things out each time, because I still have a totally full freezer. So anybody got any tricks on that one? I'd like to know about them as well. And the other thing is, what I'm trying to do is to keep something in the fridge, and otherwise not put it in the freezer at all. And if I haven't eaten it by the next couple of days, it needs to go out. I really don't do that well. I really don't do the throwing away of food well. And yet at the end of the week I seem to throw away a lot of food that I haven't used, like grapes or whatever. So apparently I buy it well and throw it away. I'm going to be the only person, well, maybe not. I was going to say the only person who buys through food just so I can throw it away at the end of the week. There is a bright pink SUV in front of me with writing on it that isn't quite big enough. Wow, it's a oncology boutique and spa. Now there is a smart person. Number 1, a bright pink car, you're bound to see it. The only problem is the writing is white on pink, which is difficult to see. It'd be easier to see black on pink, but obviously they had a reason for not doing that. But the whole car is painted out with that. And once you've read it, how can you forget it, sort of thing. Now the reason I'm sort of querying it, that's right, it isn't local. It comes from Alberta. Which would be, it's called Compassionate Beauty, apparently. So any entrepreneurs out there? Interesting. And it's trademarked, so somebody has trademarked the name. And it has a picture of 2 women who are bald and looking wonderful. Great idea. Okay, so not at all distracting while you're driving, apparently. I saw an interesting comment from Tono. You will remember we asked for some thoughts and prayers because she was in hospital. I got a note this morning from her to let me know that she is back from hospital. So, well done, Tono. You look after yourself. And I know things are not all well, but at least you got the ability to be able to go home and enjoy your own home. And I sort of did a quick checklist last night to see who I had forgotten in my list of people who needed some thoughts and prayers, and I think the one I missed was Sophie. And Sophie, so just so that you guys are aware, she's taking some sort of test for a job interview that she's doing, and she has to go through some sort of test on Thursday, and so she asked for a few thoughts and prayers to that she would do well and get the job. So Sophie, I apologize for missing you out yesterday, and the reason was, of course, because my mind was concentrating on who did I need to remember that was ill, and that's why your name didn't come to me. Well, no, I'm old and an old fart, and I forget things is the reason, right? Don't let me use the other excuse. I knew there was somebody I'd missed. I couldn't work out who it was. But I do think that's why I missed it, because to me it was like, okay, I was trying to think of everybody that was having a health issue. So I just heard from a friend of mine, Marnie, you all know Marnie, that she has just booked tickets to do midnight mass in Westminster Abbey in London, Christmas Eve. Wow. And she said another thing off her bucket list. So what a great thing to do. And you could imagine, I didn't know they sold tickets to it, but you can imagine that's a memory of a lifetime, if, you know, to be able to do that. I cannot imagine how they do mass for that mass of people, if you know what I mean. You know, it must be really difficult. But I'll be able to ask her when she gets back. They must have all sorts of ministers standing by, ready to hand out communion. Because that's a lot of people in that abbey. Wow. But it was great because she posted it up on Facebook, and what I found interesting was how many people responded and went, wow, what a great idea. And, you know, it's a bit like, I am committed to doing this trip to Vegas this year, next year. Not because I necessarily want to gamble. I just have never been to Vegas. It's one of those places where you go, it's got a lot of history in it for me in terms of the Rat Pack and, you know, when I grew up. And having heard about it all my life, having seen it all my life in terms of movies and everything else, I just wanted to get a sense of it in real life. What is it like to live there? You know, and I know that some of you do, and I'm really interested as to what is it like to live in such a gambling town. And such a tourist town, because I'm sure that it's a tourist town 24/7, 365 days of the year. So obviously a lot of people must be very grateful for the business that it brings and the jobs that it supplies. But I just wonder what it's like to live a normal life. Or does the average person in Las Vegas, you know, just keep well away from all that stuff? You know, you get as much distance as possible away from the Strip, except when you have visitors, you know, coming into town or something. I'd be interested to know about that. Because there must be such a transient population. Constantly people moving into town and people moving out of town. And my other thought was incredibly drunk people wandering around all the time. And we know how well-behaved drunk people can be. Especially young drunk people. So I'd be really interested to hear what that's like for any of you. Alright everybody, so get some control this week if you are feeling a bit overwhelmed, and then let me know how you do. Let me know how your successes are and whether it helped you. Again, thank you all who are doing your best to support other people on the network. All of you who are helping, and we've got a lot of people who are pretty sick this week and really in need of some extra TLC. So all of you who are doing that for us, thank you so much indeed. We really appreciate it. And what I find so interesting is that 9 times out of 10 it's the people who themselves are sick who will make time for other people who are sick. I guess they value others a great deal. So look after one another. Have a fun day if you choose to. Make sure that you get control of your life back, even if it's a very small amount. Even if you just do an hour of self-control. At least you can sit down and go, hey, I took control for an hour. I stopped procrastinating about this, 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 and this. Yay. For just an hour. Awesome. This is Dear Mama Sal saying thank you so much for watching. And by the way, if you're new to the Dear Mama Sal Wit and Wisdom, thank you for being here. We really appreciate that. And if you look at the dearmamasal.com website, you will find all the links you need to the broadcasts and anything else on the right hand side if you scroll down. The one thing that we do ask though is if you subscribe to or like the Facebook page and Twitter, we always let you know. Well, no, that's not true, not always. 99.9% of the time, I do remember to let you know that I'm about to broadcast in the next half hour or so. You know, I normally can put up a 35-minute warning, just to let you know that I'm about to broadcast. So it's a good idea to be linked in, if you like, with Facebook or Twitter so that you can get a warning. Have a good day, everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now.